right? There is a hierarchy over here, and in that hierarchy today I've just spoken to you about the crown, okay, the jewel, okay, in that entire crown is that IB30. Okay, we will talk about the weights over here, but for me, in an order flow chart, the one, okay, which stands out the most in terms of weightage, in terms of the weight of the signal in the order flow chart is always your IB30 signal, right? Just think of it as your Nifty 50 with your Reliance, SBI, all these, okay, instruments put together. You will see, okay, that Reliance has got a higher weightage, okay, than the other thing, even though you're trading the Nifty 50, right? So there will be some, okay, which have got a higher weightage, okay, than the others, okay, which have got low weightages, etc., etc. So we give it a priority, and the proper way, okay, to look at all that priority and that hierarchy, okay, as we call it, is to give a lot more weightage, okay, to the initiative buyers and the initiative sellers, right? Then, okay, you can say, okay, you can look at your COT, then you can look at the liquidity in the bar, then you can look at the volume clusters. But it is always a collection of all of these traders and selection of all these traders, okay, which make up the order flow chart. So you start off with, we've been, okay, working, okay, out on these processes and these methods, okay, of trading. And as we head into a new calendar year 2025, this is, okay, something, okay, which is giving us a lot of excitement because in the past 2 or 3 months, we've been witness to some super clear signals. The markets, okay, you can say, okay, have reduced volumes, but the volumes, okay, which have been left are super clear volumes, and they've been giving us very clean, definite signals to trade. And that is, okay, what is exciting for us as we move into the coming year, right? So let's have a quick look at charts, and then we'll talk a bit, okay, about what is the proper process, okay, to trade in these markets. To get to that, there is a lot of work involved, and there is a true process, okay, behind every single person who works the markets. He's got a strategy, he's got a plan, and he's got a way of approaching this, right? Now I speak to you, okay, via the medium of market profile and order flow. It's something I know dearly, and it's something, okay, which I utilize, okay, in my day-to-day trading, something, okay, which has worked for me all these years, okay, I have been trading, right? And there are a number of ways, okay, because, okay, you've shown an inclination to learn, and that is something, okay, which will help you, okay, as you navigate the rest of 2025. You have to, okay, keep learning about these markets. You have to, okay, gain experience in what you are doing, and then, okay, the results, okay, will have to come to you. It doesn't work the other way around. The results, okay, do not come to people who have got no knowledge, and the results definitely do not come to people who have got no experience. So you'll have to, okay, adopt it the right way. Get yourselves, okay, the knowledge, okay, about what you are doing in terms of a proper, valid working process. Immerse yourself completely into what you are doing. This is not something which is done randomly. It's not like getting up in the morning, picking up a chart or an instrument, putting an order, and hoping, okay, that the trade works. No, it doesn't work that way at all. You've got to have a plan. You've got to have a process, okay, to that plan. And you got to back, okay, that process and plan with a lot of conviction, which can only come through a lot of experience, right? So you'll have to, okay, go through that. You'll have to, okay, take in a few bad trades, come back stronger, learn from those bad trades, become good traders, and then, okay, everything will become easier for you.
Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. A quick sound check. Great. Apologies for the inconvenience. There was some issue with the audio. I hope I'm coming across now. So let's start this Monday 5 p.m. session with what we do. We'll start with the weekly report and then we'll move on to the order flow of the last couple of sessions. That is from Thursday to today. So we have the weekly report published, and as per the weekly report, which is based on spot in Nifty, you can see how we opened slightly bullish on Monday. Why we were slightly bullish last Monday? This is about last Monday, because we opened above previous week's value and left a small A period buying tail. But what we did was we stalled at this Friday scene of crime. May 2nd, we had a scene of crime at 24516, which is where we stalled. So we made these poor highs at I think 24523 and 24526 on Monday and could not extend. That was telling us that the buyer were not able to do a good job. So the next 3 days we got this selling tail in the A period and we went on to swipe through previous week's value. We had spoken last Monday out of how this 24333 would act as a magnet, and we gave an initiative move away from here on Thursday, where we closed in a spike down away from this weekly value. And that imbalance continued with a gap down on Friday, wherein we formed this B-shaped profile. So on the weekly time frame, we had a double distribution trend down profile, but we took support just above the May 2nd VPOC of 24393, which is where we made the lows. So it was a double distribution trend one profile with completely overlapping value. So you can see how the value was again a well balanced one, the value of last week. So although we had moved away from this value, the value area was a nice Gaussian curve. So we had an extension handle from 24220 and the DD singles till 24121, which was the reference for us for today. And if we would have taken this out, we could have attempted to repair the poor highs. This was the expectation. Whereas on the downside, we had the immediate support at the closing HVN of 24012, which was the POC from Friday. And if we would have stayed below this, we could have gone for a test of these extension handles. So what did we do today? Let us open up the spot chart and see what we did. So as in spot, we always give most importance to the POC in weekly bearish. So the open today was right above the POC. And if you can check the lows in spot today, it was right where we had the rollover point of the May series. We have been discussing about this rollover point ever since we have completed the April series. So you can see how the open was right at that rollover point 24378. It is actually to the dot. 24378 was the rollover point, and from there we have given an open drive up. We are above the weekly value. We have climbed above this value area high, repaired these poor lows from last week. We have also repaired the poor highs from last week, and we have also repaired the poor highs from the week prior to that. So it was an open drive up, and we left a long A period buying tail. So it was very clear that we are headed higher. So we have gone on to form a trend day up, and as you can see, the immediate objective on the upside would be this unvisited VPOC of 25064. We are watching the weekly chart. So this is the weekly VPOC, and this is coming way back from October. So you can see how we have back into this October's range. We are actually consolidating near the swing high from December. This will be one reference. We have this selling tail, and then we have this VPOC as the upside targets. So the weekly open is a bullish one, and as long as we are holding this buying tail and this halfback of today, we are looking for more upside in the coming sessions. So let's moving back to the weekly report and having a quick look at the Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty was the weaker of the two because you can see last week we opened below this weekly weekly POC, which was at 55466, and the highs we made on last Monday was right at the rollover point in the monthly POC of April, which was at 55350. So once you know that, once you are seeing that the rollover point is just like how in Nifty spot today morning we saw the lows was right at the rollover point and we have got an open drive up. So automatically the PLR, the path of least resistance, would be to the upside. Last week at the open in Bank Nifty, we got the complete opposite start. We got an we got an high and a selling tail right at that rollover point. So it was very clear that the Bank Nifty is headed lower, and you can see how after this A period moved away from this weekly value, we got another big A period selling tail, and we went on to make these lows on Wednesday where we tested the prior weekly extension handle. So when we tested this, we gave a small bounce, but the bounce again got stalled at this POC of Tuesday, 55949, 54949, and from there again we uh, probe lower and made this B-shaped profile on Thursday. So here again, what we did in the spot was we had tested this important extension handle of 53525. These were also marked in our hypos for the day, which we update on a daily basis. So what we did, the low was right there at the open, and almost all day that low was holding. But in the K period, we made an attempt to probe lower, which was rejected. So that 53525 was holding. That means the buyers were holding this level. So that was one important cue which we could take out from Friday. So Bank Nifty has formed an elongated trend day profile. This is the weekly profile. It is a trend one down. Initiative selling tail from 55180 to 345. And we not only took out the buying singles of last 2 weeks, but also went on to test the extension handle of 53525 from 15th to 17th April. So we made a low of 53483, showing some signs of demand coming back. So value was completely lower, and the extension handle was 54108, which was our immediate reference on the upside. So this is what we were looking at for today, 54108 on the upside, whereas on the downside, 53525 remained the reference. If we would have stayed below this at open today, we are looking for a test of these lower levels of 53164 and 52877. So let's just have a quick look at what we have done in the spot, Bank Nifty spot. And again, you would see how Bank Nifty was a clear uh, bullish sign from the open, but Bank Nifty was bullish, but it was not as bullish. Why? Because we still remained in previous week's value, although we opened higher and stayed above this weekly VPOC of 54517, which became the opening reference after the gap up. What we have done, we have taken off this selling tail, and this higher weekly VPOC was automatically the objective when we are getting a move away from the previous weekly POC, just like how we saw in Nifty spot 25064 is the upper target. Similarly, in Bank Nifty, we hit this weekly VPOC of 55466 into the close today. And if this buying tail is held, we are looking for a test of this selling tail from the weekly profiles of April 21st to 25th April, where we made that all-time high and left this selling tail, and we again stalled right at the base of this selling tail on the in the week of 28th of April to 2nd of May. 2nd of May, I think, was the swing high which we made. So these two could be tested in case we are holding this A period buying tail from today. So this is as far as the spot is concerned. We have had an open drive up and a long A period buying tail. So it looks bullish for the rest of the week, but we will need to take it session by session and look at what the order flow is doing. So let's now come to the Nifty order flow. This is the 30-minute order flow. And what I would want to do is quickly go back to what we were doing on 8th, which was the expiry day, settlement day. So from there, we will just revisit the order flow of 30 minutes on Nifty futures till today and see what was the difference we saw. So you can see how we have discussed this on Thursday also, and we had discussed how this 24510 was being a supply zone. We were not able to get demand in this zone. It was for the entire week from Monday. So even on Thursday, we saw the highs right there at 24512, and we left a period selling tail 24490 to 512, and we saw multiple times how the 24490 was not able to be taken out. In fact, on the 3-minute time frame, we got an IS3 signal right in the opening 15 minutes, which held throughout the day. And what we went on to do later in the day was, although we did not get IS30 bars in Nifty futures, we saw plenty of IS30 in the puts, monthly puts as well as weekly puts, and which we spoke about. We'll have a look at them as well. So what we did, we continued to probe lower and closed in a spike down. It was a trend day down on Thursday, which continued with a gap down open on Friday. But on Friday, you can see how the cot was changing. It was turning green. So especially this 945 bar, it had 5481 green cot. So this was very clearly telling us that this down move, at least the Nifty futures, is not contributing to the down move. Whatever the move is happened via options or via the cash market. So that is why we were very apprehensive in looking for short side trades on Friday as well, because we are not getting any IS bars at the below the initial balance. In fact, we never broke this initial balance low. Yes, we were getting responsive selling when we were probing above the VWAP, but we are not getting initiative selling, and the cot also was green. So this is how we closed on Friday, and uh, where the close around the VWAP was telling us that the sellers are not holding. Otherwise, the close would have been well below VWAP. So what open did we have? You can see we don't have volumes at least till 24,410, and the only volume you can see in order flow today is at this level, which is 24,484. So, and if I just enlarge this a bit, you can see how you have got some big LLTs coming in. These LLTs were seen even on the first 3-minute bar. When we open the market today, even when we are watching the 3-minute order flow bar, we saw these LLTs: 498 green, 2053 green, 2512 green, and you can see where exactly these greens are coming. This green is coming right at the place where we were getting supply last week, or we are seeing lack of demand. 24510. We even spoke about it, how the anchored VWAP was coming at that level, and from the 2nd of May, and then we were not able to get demand over there. But today's open completely changed the picture, and it was because of these big LLTs which came at this level. We were only looking at long side trades. So what we ultimately did, we went on to leave an extension handle. This was also a very important cue, because you can see where it is left an extension handle. This is exactly the place where we got that swing high on 2nd of May. 24718 was the level of that 2nd May high, from where we left that scene of crime and we started probing lower. But today, when we got initial demand in the A period, the B period continued to show us buying coming in, which was seen in this POC and this 618 green. You can see how the cot also remained green today. So it was telling us that the PLR is to the upside. So once we get this initial balance out of the way, the POC of the B and the VWAP of the day would become our reference. And we look for more upside in the coming session. So you can see then how in the E period we got this RS bar, but still we made the pullback low which we made in the D, a small pullback low, the leaving an RB POC was held. And the G period again made a big range extension, and once we make a range extension, the POC of that particular bar becomes our reference. So this 24860 being a reference, we were looking to continue higher, and we went on to make higher highs on all TPOs till the M period, where we hit that 25069 as the high. So this was the order flow, 30-minute order flow of today. Yes, there was profit booking in the second half of the day, which is understandable because we have seen good green caught in the Friday's gap down plus at the open today, and they were strong big buyers. So in the order flow, although we did not get any IB on 30 minutes, we got a lot of IB signals on the 3 minutes. So I'll just quickly, and what are the rules for the IB bars? We go long. So this is we are there on the 8th May profile itself, and you can see how we got this IS3 on this expiry on 8th, and how the expiry date turned out to be a trend one down. Is the audio clear, guys? I hope everyone is able to get through what I'm been speaking. So let's now move on to today's 3-minute order flow at the open and see what were the signals we got. And you can see how as I was mentioning, we got those LLTs even on the 3 minutes, all these LLTs, and we went on to probe higher. And we got this first IS3 which did not get activated because we didn't break this low of the bar. So the PLR was to the upside because we had a strong open. It was an open drive up, and we are looking for a fresh signal in the B period, which came in form of this IB3 bar. This is a very good IB3, and we saw this POC even in the 30-minute order flow. So you need these kind of IB signals to give you the confidence to get into trades, and these are the signals which you want to trade of your full position size, because the open was a strong one, and here you're getting a fresh IB3, and this is the B period. So you know you're looking at new highs. Your longs get triggered above this 24744, and your stop loss would be this 696. And what you do is you will definitely book profit at 1:1, and then you'll trail rest of your position to cost. So if you get a trending move higher, whatever this risk-free position you are being holding, we will get you a bonus for the day. And you can see how after this got triggered, we never came back below 24744. So this is how you need to trade the IB signals on all time frames. The IB30 is also a similar thing. So that which we look out for the higher time frame. So again, if we go through, as I mentioned, that 24744 never came in, and then we got this big IB bar again in the G period. So you need to wait for these kind of signals to see where the fresh volumes are coming in and get into trades. And this, you can see again, the POC of this IB was not violated. Although the POC shifted to the top part, you can see big greens over here, and this 24860, which again we saw on the 30-minute time frame. We never got below this. So this becomes our reference to hold on to the long trades, and we just continue to hold the long side trade unless we get a fresh IB bar, which we got at 2 o'clock. So here you can trail your stop loss to this 24921. So again, with that as your trailing stop loss, we continue to hold the long side trades, and here into the close, when you are seeing this IS, this is definitely profit booking, so you can book all your longs. So this is how you trade the order flow and the initiative signals. We have been mentioning that the signal is the most important, and it comes topmost hierarchy wise in the suite, order flow suite. So let's now move on to the order flow of options. We had seen how we got IB 30 bars in the option on Thursday. So I'll just take this back to Thursday. This is the 24,500 put on the left and 24,500 put monthly on the right. So we'll just compare how these gave us the signals on Thursday and how those signals gave us the 1:1 target. So all signals have a time frame. Just because you've got an IB30 or an IS30 does not mean you can hold on to that position forever. So we have been telling all signals have a time frame of 10 bars. Inside 10 bars, you will look to book 1:1 and see for the next target, which is 1:2 and 1:3. And if you don't get any further signal in the next 10 bars, then you may look at booking out completely, or just leaving it at the trailing stop loss at cost. So you can see the left how we got this IB30 at 12:45 first, and then we got another IB30 into at 1:45. So you can see how we completed the 1:1 target of this IB30s on some of these IB30s hit the first target on Thursday itself, and they went on to complete the second target at the open on Friday. So once the target is done, there is no point in holding on to those. And you can see how after the target was hit, we got this IS30. It did not get triggered because we didn't go below this, but it was very clearly showing us change of polarity, change of auction character. So the IB30s, and even on the monthly, you can see not one but four IB30s. And this, in fact, this was one IB30 which you could have carried, and this went on to hit the 1:1 target at open on Friday, after which we did not get any signals in this put. So this is how you would ride the 30-minute signals. Whenever you're getting an IB30 or an IS30 which gets activated, you will hold on to your positions and look to get the target 1 and target 2 in the 10 bars. So this is what the put had shown us last week. Let us now see what the calls showed us today. So this is how you need to make use of this IB signals. IBs and the IS signals are the most powerful tools in order flow. And if you get if you get benefit of those, you don't need anything else. You will be able to make most of these signals. So you can see how the open type today was an open drive. We have already discussed this. The A period POC continued to be at support. We have the 24,600 call on the left. This is the weekly option, and we have the 24,500 monthly on the right. So we'll just compare both of them. You can see how the weekly option gave us an IB30 right in the initial balance, and this got triggered only in the E period. So because this 270 was not taken out in the C and D. So once it got triggered in the E period, your stop loss would have been 150, and you're looking for a target of 110 320 from this 270. So 390 was the target. So you can see how we went on to hit the target one. Once you hit the target one, you will trail your stop loss to cost, and you can hold on to positions into the close. Then because it's a 10-day up, either you book out at the close or you carry over, because this is still a risk free with your stop loss way below. So for tomorrow, this NPOC of 356 would be our reference on the downside. In case we are holding any long position because of this IB30, this will be our trailing stop loss. Similarly, on the monthly time frame, we did not get any IB30 in the initial balance, but we got this later. In the G period, the IB30 was printed, but it got activated only in the I period, where we went above this 609. So once we get above this, our stop loss is 502, and we're looking for a 107 point move from here. So we went on to hit the target one into the close today. So now our stop loss would be this 609 if we are taking trades following the IB30 signals. So the signals are there, the time frame is there. It is up to us how we want to make most use of this. So while following, and all signals are valid for T plus 10 bars, 10 bars, so T plus 9. So you will want to hit your target 1 and target 2, or look for another similar signal for to hold on to the position. If that is not happening, you can consider moving out of the trade, because you have given it enough time, but it is not giving you the result. So this is how we watch the order flow, and this is how you can look at the futures as well as the options. In fact, we had suggested last week how you can use this multi-window mode, wherein you can have 30-minute futures on your left, and you can have the 30-minute call or the put options on the right. So you can see whenever you are feeling that you're getting a bullish signal in the futures, that will automatically get translated into the option side. So, and today was an open drive up. The open was strong. We remained above VWAP all the time, and we made range extension almost in every TPO. So today's was a very easy market to wait for an IB30 on any of the calls, and accordingly get into position, because you get a good uh, uh, risk in picture. So you know what your target would be and what your stop loss would be. So you need to make most of this and make sure that you are in sync with what the latest volumes is showing us. So, and it holds good for all time frames, even the 3-minute, even the 30 minutes. So before we wind up, a quick look at what we did in Bank Nifty futures today, and how the order flow showed us change of polarity, because Bank Nifty was the weaker of the two indices. In fact, Nifty had taken support at a higher level, which was the POC of second, but Bank Nifty had gone on to test the 17th April references. So today we had a lot of anchored VWAPs in Bank Nifty on the from the upside. So this anchored VWAP of 55082 was our reference, and you can see how we took off that reference with a period singles, and that reference gave us the VWAP of today's A period. So although we did not make big range extension in Bank Nifty as we did in Nifty, it was still a bullish start, and it still looks good for more upside, provided we are holding this A period buying tail today. So signals wise, on 30 minutes we did not get much any initiative signal in Bank Nifty, but in order flow, as we see, we look at where the zeros are coming in and where the POC and the VWAP is placed. So because we remained above VWAP all day, we remain bullish in Bank Nifty. And yes, one more thing was the cot. The Nifty cot was completely green, which was telling us that the buyers are loading. But in Bank Nifty, we did not have such confirmation. So that is why we were not very bullish, or we were not looking for much trades in the Bank Nifty, because Nifty was a better option to trade. So that is it for today from my side, guys. I hope this session was useful and it will help you to trade the initiative signals, which are the most important part of the suite, which we have at Vtrender charts. So in case there is any queries, I'll be happy to answer them before we wind up. 24718 was not a extension handle. It was the swing high. There is a question. It was the swing high from 2nd of May, which was taken off today. And we saw in the order flow how we left the B period extension handle. A period high was 24718. So that is where the B period, I'll just quickly go to the order flow chart of Nifty. So yes, this technically the extension handle is at 24715. So why is this an extension handle? Because you can see this BTPO just moved away from here with zeros in the order flow, and zeros on a 30-minute, you have three rows of zeros here, and you have a big LLT green. So these are the kind of order flow bars which tell you that this is completely dominated by the buyers. The cot is green on the down, you have a big A period buying tail, you have the POC right in the middle, and you have left an extension handle at 24715. So these are the tools you need to make sure you're using. So monthly FA is a much complicated thing which I don't think can be explained in a session like this. So we have mentioned before that if you are interested, you join the VMR where we take all those complex concepts and keep a track of it, because it is happening on the monthly time frame. You cannot trade it like that, but you will have to break it down into intraday time frame and then accordingly look to trade that. So targets, yes, 1:1 is our first objective. There will be other ways to predict to come to the targets as per the order flow NPOCs which have been left or the market profile references. But yes, 1:1 is the best way to book out part and hold rest to cost. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you for joining in. And in case you have any queries, you can mail us at support@vtrender or DM me on X at Uttam Goyal is my ID. I'll be happy to take any queries regarding the sessions which we have. And if any of you is interested in joining the VMR, do let us know and just do send us a mail or a DM. Thank you, guys, and have a great evening and looking forward to a great week of trade ahead.